All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Bound by Love, Cursed by Fate,
Okay.
and this is a story that spans millennia, and it's really a love story where gods and curses get tangled up in a relationship that just will not quit.
Right.
And honestly, the premise alone has me completely hooked.
Yeah.
A goddess, an archangel, and a love so powerful it echoes across lifetimes.
Mm.
So let's unpack this,
Let's get into it.
shall we?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that immediately grabbed me was this idea of twin flames.
Okay.
It's not just your typical soulmate trope. Aurora and Rael
Right.
are kind of star-crossed lovers here. They share a bond that transcends the physical. It's a connection so deep, it just defies time and space.
And their first meeting is just, wow.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's like a hidden waterfall, a goddess and an archangel just defying expectations.
Yeah.
It's like the authors took every element of a classic love story and just turned it up to 11.
I think that's a deliberate choice, by establishing this grand, almost mythical setting.
Right.
The authors really lay the foundation for a love that's destined, preordained even, but also constantly challenged.
Yeah.
And that's where the curse comes in. I think it adds another layer of complexity to their already intense connection.
Okay. So we've got this epic love, this kind of forbidden romance that's brewing, and then boom, the curse just drops.
Right.
It feels almost paradoxical.
Yeah.
Lady Destiny gives their souls this chance to reconnect.
Yeah.
But then you have this opposing force that throws a wrench in the works. It's like the universe is playing this cosmic game of keep away with their hearts.
Right. And that paradox, I think, is really crucial because it raises all these questions about free will versus destiny.
Okay.
Are Aurora and Rael truly in control of their lives, or are they just puppets in some grand cosmic play?
Yeah.
And that tension between choice and fate, I think, really fuels the entire narrative.
Absolutely. And speaking of their story, it doesn't just play out in one or two lifetimes,
Oh, no.
does it? It's like they're on this reincarnation roller coaster, and each life is a new act in this grand love drama.
Exactly. Each lifetime presents a different facet of their struggle against this curse.
Right.
And each one is really a reflection of this core conflict. Take Eos and Tithonus, for example.
Okay.
Eos, the goddess of dawn, she falls for this mortal man.
Right.
And desperate to keep him with her, she asks Zeus to grant him immortality.
But she forgets to ask for eternal youth.
Classic Greek myth.
Classic Greek myth move, right?
Yeah.
Talk about a tragic oversight.
Whoops.
He ends up aging endlessly trapped in this body that's constantly decaying.
Yeah.
And eventually she turns him into a cicada,
Right.
which is such a fascinating transformation when you think about the symbolism.
Well, absolutely. Cicadas are often associated with rebirth and transformation.
Okay.
Think about their life cycle. They spend years underground.
Mm-hmm.
Before emerging, they shed their skin.
Right.
And then, they sing their hearts out. And that imagery, I think, directly parallels Aurora and Rael's journey.
Right.
They, too, are undergoing these repeated transformations. They're shedding their physical forms as they're reborn into new lives.
Yeah.
And their love song is echoing across time.
It's like their love is this constant,
Yeah.
adapting to whatever form they take. But then we get to Cleopatra and Mark Antony in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
It's a complete shift from the Greek myth landscape.
It is.
What's the significance of this change?
Well, I think it highlights the different ways that the curse manifests.
Okay.
With Eos and Tithonus, it was a direct intervention by the gods.
Right.
But with Cleopatra and Mark Antony, the tragedy stems from external forces, war, political ambition, the machinations of empires.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that fate can work through human actions just as well as through divine intervention.
So it's not just the gods pulling the strings here. The curse is woven into the very fabric of their existence,
Yeah.
influencing events on both a grand and personal scale.
I think so.
And there's even shades of Romeo and Juliet in one of their past lives.
Precisely. Isabel carrying Aurora's soul recounts her tragic love story to Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And the inclusion of that scene isn't just a clever literary nod. I think it really reinforces the universality of their struggle.
Okay.
Forbidden love, sacrifice, misunderstandings, leading to these devastating consequences.
Yeah.
Those are themes that resonate across time and cultures.
Their story feels like the archetype for just countless tales of love and loss.
It really does.
But there's this one intriguing detail that really stood out to me.
Okay.
It's Isabel's decision to leave Rael, who at this point is a cicada.
Oh, right.
for his own safety.
Yeah.
It's an act of selflessness, but does it actually backfire?
It does, and that's the irony of it all.
Yeah.
You know, her intention is to protect him,
Right.
but her absence ultimately leads to his exploitation by the Dark Witch Agnes.
Right.
And it highlights this recurring theme of well-intentioned actions having these unforeseen and devastating consequences. Their love story isn't just a battle against external forces.
Yeah.
It's also about navigating the complexities of their own choices.
So even when they try to outsmart fate, it finds a way to twist their actions against them.
Seems like it.
It feels almost like they can't catch a break.
It's relentless, and it makes you question whether they have any agency at all.
Right.
But then we jump to a modern setting with Mia and Brian,
Yeah.
and it feels like a breath of fresh air.
It does.
Does taking them out of this fantastical setting make their love story less compelling, though?
It's a good question. Does the modern setting make their connection feel more relatable, or does it diminish the magic of their past lives?
Right.
I'm curious to hear your take on this shift. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a fascinating contrast, you know?
Yeah.
On the one hand, we have these, epic mythological settings,
Right.
gods and goddesses and intervening curses shaping destinies.
Yeah.
And then, bam, we're in a world of
Right.
job interviews and coffee dates and, texting anxieties.
Okay.
But does it diminish the magic, though?
Right.
I don't think so.
I think I see what you mean. Like stripping away the grandiosity
Yeah.
almost allows us to focus on that raw essence of their connection.
Exactly.
It's not about defying gods anymore. It's about navigating the complexities of a relationship, in the real world.
Right. And it makes their challenges more relatable.
Yeah.
Who hasn't struggled with long distance or career changes or, finding that work-life balance.
Right.
And these everyday obstacles, I think, highlight the fact that even a love as profound as theirs still has to contend with the mundane realities of life.
It makes you wonder if maybe the curse has adapted too.
Right.
Instead of, these epic tragedies, it's throwing curveballs like delayed flights and missed connections.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But even within this ordinary setting, there are these echoes of their extraordinary past.
Right.
Think about Brian's, meticulous planning of the proposal in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
It's romantic, yes.
Yeah.
But there's also this sense of urgency, almost like he's trying to seize happiness before fate can intervene.
And then there's Mia's reaction.
Right.
She loves him clearly, but there's this hesitation too.
Yes.
It's almost like she's subconsciously aware of the pattern of their past lives.
Yeah. Interest.
Bracing herself for that inevitable heartbreak.
That hesitation, I think, speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It suggests that even without conscious knowledge of their past lives, their souls still carry the weight of those experiences.
Right.
The curse might not be throwing lightning bolts anymore,
Yeah.
but it's still casting a shadow over their present.
But they choose to love anyway,
Yeah. Yeah,
despite that shadow.
they do.
And their journey unfolds with all the ups and downs of a normal relationship. They face job changes. They spend time apart. They experience the immense joy of discovering Mia's pregnancy.
And then, of course, the gut-wrenching grief of her death.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that even in this modern context, their love story is not immune to suffering.
Right.
The curse.
Yeah.
Might be subtler, but it's still a powerful force in their lives.
You mentioned their cabin getaway earlier.
Yes.
And I was particularly struck by that section.
Okay.
It felt like a brief respite from the storm.
I agree.
Just a moment of pure connection amidst the chaos.
It is, and I think that's why it's so significant.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by nature, away from the noise of their daily lives.
Right.
And you really see their love shine through even brighter against the backdrop of their shared grief.
Mm-hmm.
It's a testament to their resilience,
Yeah.
their ability to find those moments of joy even when facing immense pain.
And it makes their final letters to each other all the more powerful,
Yeah.
knowing that their time together is limited.
Absolutely.
The love, the longing, the acceptance of their fate.
It's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
But there's strength in that acceptance, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
They acknowledge the unfairness of it all, the pain of their past lives, the limitations imposed by the curse.
Yet they choose to focus on the beauty of the love they shared, however fleeting it may be.
It's a profound message
Yeah.
about finding meaning and cherishing those precious moments of connection, even in the face of loss.
It is.
But I have to admit, when Mia died, a part of me
Yeah.
felt cheated.
I understand.
Like, did their story really have to end so tragically?
Right.
Even in this modern setting?
It's a natural reaction. You know, we want a happy ending,
Yeah.
especially after witnessing their struggles across lifetimes.
Right.
But I think the authors are challenging us to confront the reality that love doesn't always conquer, at least not in the conventional sense.
Right.
Sometimes it's about finding beauty in the impermanence, in the bittersweet memories that remain.
So it's more about the journey than the destination.
Exactly.
About how they loved rather than how long their love lasted.
Precisely, it's about the depth of their connection, the choices they made,
Yeah.
the sacrifices they endured for each other.
Right.
And that brings us to the epilogue and Brian's dream.
Yeah.
What did you make of that final scene?
Honestly, I was both relieved and a bit confused.
Okay.
It reveals that the curse has been broken.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's through a dream, this ethereal, uncertain experience.
Yeah.
Does it offer genuine closure, or is it just a way to kind of soften the blow of their tragedy?
It's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
But I see it as a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
You know, Brian sees Mia not in sorrow or longing,
Right.
but in peace.
Yeah.
And it suggests that maybe, just maybe,
Mm-hmm.
there's a realm beyond our understanding where their souls can find peace free from the constraints of the curse.
So the curse might be broken, but their story isn't over.
Right.
It continues, perhaps in a different form, in a realm where love transcends those physical limitations. Yeah. But what about Brian, though?
Okay.
He wakes up to a world without Mia still carrying the weight of their shared history.
Yeah.
Does his dream offer him any real solace?
Yeah. It's a question that really lingers.
Yeah. Can a dream, even one as vivid and emotionally resonant as Brian's, truly offer solace?
Right.
You know, when you're faced with such a profound loss.
Yeah. It's a powerful image, though.
Right.
You know, he sees Mia not as the grieving, heartbroken woman she was at the end, but bathed in this kind of ethereal light.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests that maybe, just maybe, there's a realm beyond our understanding where their souls can find peace free from the constraints of this curse.
It's a really beautiful thought.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the book's final message.
Okay.
A message that really speaks directly to the reader.
Right.
What struck you about those closing lines?
Well, you know, after witnessing Aurora and Rael's struggles across, lifetimes and lifetimes,
Yeah.
the book ends not with despair, but with this powerful affirmation that love is worth fighting for, even when it hurts.
It's a message that resonates so deeply,
Yeah, it does.
especially in the context of their story.
Right.
They endured so much heartbreak, so much loss,
Yeah.
yet they never gave up on each other.
You never did.
Their love was tested, transformed, but never extinguished.
Yeah.
It's almost like the authors are saying, look, love isn't always pretty.
Right.
It can be messy, it can be painful,
It can be.
but it's the most powerful force in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let fear or past experiences prevent you from experiencing its transformative power.
Exactly. And that's a message that transcends those fantastical elements of the story.
Right.
You know, whether you believe in curses or past lives, the core message is universally applicable. It's about embracing love's complexities, acknowledging the risks, but choosing to love anyway.
So how can our listener, someone who's, grappling with the ups and downs of their own relationships, apply this message to their own life?
Right.
What makes this story more than just a captivating read? What makes it relevant?
Well, I think it's an invitation to examine our own beliefs about love.
Okay.
You know, have we been hurt in the past?
Right.
Are we holding back for fear of repeating those patterns?
Yeah.
This book reminds us that love requires courage,
Right.
a willingness to be vulnerable, to open ourselves up to the possibility of both joy and pain.
It's a call to action in a way.
It is.
To actively choose love, to nurture it, to fight for it, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against us.
Exactly. And to remember that love isn't a passive state.
Right.
It's an active choice that we make every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's about showing up for the people we care about.
Yeah.
Through good times and bad, and never losing sight of that deep connection that binds us together.
Absolutely. Bound by Love, Cursed by Fate is a story that really lingers long after you've turned that final page.
It does.
Makes you question your assumptions about love, destiny,
Yeah.
the power of the human spirit.
I think it reminds us that even in a world filled with darkness and uncertainty, love has the capacity to heal, to transform, and to leave a lasting impact on the world.
Well said. Thank you. So to our listener, if you're looking for a story that will sweep you away, challenge you, and ultimately leave you with a renewed sense of hope, I highly recommend diving into Bound by Love, Cursed by Fate. It's a tale of enduring love, the power of the human spirit, and the unwavering belief that even in the face of a curse, love can find a way. and perhaps it will inspire you to embrace the complexities of love in your own life, to cherish the connections you have, and to never stop believing in its transformative power.